Okay, we are live. Hey. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all don't understand. I am so excited about today. No, I can't even possibly help you understand how excited I am for today. So, for those of you that are brand new to us, which it's a new show, second episode, everybody's brand new to us. But hello, welcome to the Setup, Smile, Empower, and Thrive, where we talk to entrepreneurs, especially about how to get your mind right, how to get your life right, how to smile, empower, and thrive. I'm just saying. And all of us have gone through this journey. The reason that this particular show was started was because I really was looking at what's been going on in the lives of entrepreneurs around me. And one of my particular missions is to be who I needed when I needed somebody. And as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you need people to talk to you, not just about the journey, but about how they kept going when it just really didn't seem like it was something you'd even be able to do. Right? It's a number of hiccups, bumps along the way, pitfalls, mindset tricks, and things that happen. There's a lot of things that happen in our lives as entrepreneurs that really have many of entrepreneurs throwing in the towel, sitting back, accepting things that really they shouldn't, i.e., everybody tells you if you're an entrepreneur, don't get a job. And guess what? You sitting up here failing and struggling and life is hard. And you're like, but I can't get a job. I'm an entrepreneur. Listen, today we've got somebody here with us to talk about it because she understands. She understands. And for those of you that know me or that don't know me, maybe you're new, maybe someone passed this around to you and you said, now who in the heck is this Myra J. Stepter person? I don't know. Well, I am the chief smile producer, and all that is, it just means I'm out here producing smiles and producing smile producers. I want you to live a life that makes you smile. And essentially, I deal in mindset, but it's really about you knowing that you have greatness in you, but being able to bridge that gap and move into actually embodying that greatness. So, listen. I'm excited right now though, because look, she's smiling. I'm excited because listen.
It's so hard not to smile.
Right. I'm so excited. Okay. So you guys, listen. This person that I'm about to introduce to you, she's sitting right there, all cute and pretty and everything. Let me tell you something. It's been about 4 years now, almost 5 years we met. And we met writing books, like just the most random thing, met writing books, decided that we were going to push forward with an idea, with a thing that happened. We met a crew of people, and I happened to go to Atlanta for a book signing with a group of folks, and there with the group of folks was Glendora Divine, right? And we had done a number of different radio shows and things like that. Oh, my Lord, my phone. Stop, phone. Can you not do that to me on the broadcast? Okay. So, but I met Glendora Divine, and I was like, she is such cool people. She is such cool people. And I was like, she's regular folks. And then I find out, oh no, she's like a licensed professional therapist, like board certified. Like she is like, you know, when you think of people that are like the muckety mucks and the folks like, you know, they're well educated. They have everything going for them. And then you're like, but she's regular people. Like she's real, tangible. And then I think about a lot of therapy counselors that I've met over the years, and some of them really do get kind of high and mighty with themselves. And you're like, could you just be regular? Could you just be a human being, regular person? And then you meet somebody like Glendora and you're like, oh, hey, girl.
Hey.
Hey. So listen, guys, what I do want to do is like I've been doing, I want to read her bio. And I know what usually happens when people read bios, you sit back and you go, Oh my God.
Who you talking about? Who you talking about?
Who are you talking about? Who is that? But listen, Glendora Divine, first of all, this last name, we'll get into that too. Right, Glendora Divine has been a nationally accredited licensed counselor since 2007. Listen, she's been doing this thing for a minute, okay? She knows her stuff. All right. Where in 2010, she founded Divine Systems Georgia, where she provides therapeutic and professional counseling services to families and individuals. Glendora received her master's in psychology at South University in Savannah, Georgia in 2007. She was a trainer for Georgia's commercial sexual exploitation of children program in 2012. She has been a certified sex offender specialist since 2015, working with both juvenile sex offenders and sex crime victims. Since 2014, she's been a speaker to audiences of parents, professionals, and children on topics that help them determine their vision and improve their communication patterns. Glendora's passion for helping others can be heard and felt as she motivates, encourages, and inspires her audience to find their purpose in their life and walk in it. She's available to speak at your companies, your churches, your organizations, including your city and your government entities. And since 2011, she's volunteered for the Wounded Warrior Program, Give an Hour, and at local public schools, encouraging healthy mental living, family safeguarding, and reliable community connections. Listen, you guys. First of all, I need like the crowd sound in the background. It could be like Glendora Divine, and they could be all of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Hey. Listen, I said it already, but I am so excited to have you on the show because as
I'm gonna be here.
I've been in your inbox, I've been on your pages. I'm always hashtag Black Love anytime I see anything.
I appreciate that too. I do. I truly appreciate it.
Like you guys, you know, people are always like relationship goals, couple goals. I'm like, y'all need to do a relationship symposium and be like, look, this is the real over here. Some days it's happy, some days it's not, but every day we put in the work.
Yep, we put in the work every day.
So let me, I've read the bio, but let's go back to the beginning of Glendora and decide that you were going to work in mental health. What made you choose that path? Because let me say this. My first major was psychology, and then I met some crazy people. What kept you going down the path? Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is. Well, what honestly kept me focused and going down this path is it really just in me. So when I was always around my friends or my family, I'm always just trying to help somebody. And I was like, oh, well, we can do it. Have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? Well, just try this. And when I got into the coursework of psychology, I just felt like, you know, it just spoke to me. It was just me. And I was understanding it came so easy. So, you know, I heard so many times, if God is in it, then it flows easy. And that's how it flowed for me. And so I just never went anywhere else. I just stayed there. And when I was actually graduating from master's school, we had a little party and my husband gave a toast and he stood up and he was like, I just want to give a toast that she finally can get paid for being in people's business and stop taking my money because this is just what she do. And, you know, and I was just like, oh my goodness. But he was like, and it was the truth. So, you know, I just always been that person to try and help somebody else. And I think I'm just like a naturally born servant.
Okay, that is awesome. Because this is the thing. There are people out there that are trying to find their path and their purpose. They may be naturally in everybody's business and not, you know what, this may be an option. This may be something that you should look into. And understanding that even though it might be a road or a journey that they'd have to go on, because the educational part of this is nothing to sneeze at.
It's
It's
not. It's not. It's
nothing to
not.
sneeze.
You know, often people be like, hey, Dr. Divine. I be like, hey, it's not a doctor. I stopped at school after I got my license. I'm not going back. So let's take the doctor and off. Okay, I'm over it.
Right. You're like that. That is not my ministry. That is,
No, not
and
going back.
and that was the thing. I remember looking at the path required. Whether you wanted to go to be a counselor or therapist, or if you wanted to go full in on doctor,
Psychiatrist, or
psychiatrist. Right. Then it was like, you want me to be in school how long? And you want wait, and how much is that going to cost? And so you have to really be in that. First of all, you have to know what direction you want to be in, because it's not like you stop short. You stop where you were supposed to stop, and because thing that you love, that extra part of it, that wasn't your ministry. That's
right.
And you're like, and I'm fully okay with in
Totally.
the psychology and being right here, because there were things that you wanted to do with your life besides be in school trying to figure out if you want to strangle somebody.
Right. Questioning my intelligence.
Right. Do I really know? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I know this or not.
Another 10-page paper.
Right. Another paper, another research, no, God, no. Yeah. So that's where I'm excited that you even mentioned that you were like, no, I didn't want to be the doctor, because even with the way that our goals, dreams, and desires hit, sometimes you have people in your ear telling you that you can't do it, and then other people that are pushing you toward it, but it's not where you're supposed to go.
Exactly.
Had you still this was 2007, you would have still been possibly in the process of the doctor,
right,
because it really wasn't your thing, and that makes it take longer, and that makes you out more. So I know you probably deal with people regularly and have conversations about, listen, let's find your purpose and work in that.
Right. And then look at how you discover your purpose.
Yeah. Even reading your bio, I'm like, she's over there saying she's a counselor. She's a life coach over there. You are really.
But see, the only reason that I don't pursue that area is because I do have a license, and if I did become a life coach, I still am held to the ethical standards of my license. So I'm like, okay, well then that's a waste of my time, because I'm already doing this. So, and I already got to follow these guidelines. So yeah, just get in where you fit in. We're gonna do counseling.
And listen, that's a good point as well. That's a good point as well, because there are some people out here that are in these life coaching streets, and and there are some people out here in these life coaching streets. They have not certification 1.
Is that what they got to do life coaching from that person? And
and they don't know, they don't understand, because I dealt with this when I did all of my certifications for coaching, and I met with some psychiatrists, and and it was funny, because they were like, okay, where'd you get your certification? So we were having this conversation, and I knew how they were coming at me, right? And speaking engagement that we were at, and they were the panel. I was just one of the speakers, and so after, I could tell afterward when we were talking, and they were like, so where'd you get your certifications from? And asking these different questions. And I laughed. I said, let me stop you. I know why you're asking me these questions. You want to see if I have some ICF certifications. You want something that is notable and known. I said, and yes, I have those. And she was like, she said, because there's people out here getting weekend certifications, and they're not necessarily helping people get their So we had to have that conversation because I said there are certain times where a person has come to me and I've said, let's find you a therapist. Let's
Mhm.
somebody to work because I've talked with a number of psychiatrists and counselors, and I'm like, listen, we can work in tandem. I'm working
Yeah.
on how you move forward. You got to deal with what happened. That's not my ministry, like I'm like, you have to uncover the stuff so that I can take them further. and
Right.
and a lot of times I think people misunderstand how it all can work together because
Hmm.
everybody's not really working in their lane. You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's great that you said that. You were like, no, 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 my lane is over here, and we've got some standards and some things, and this is what we're going
And I'm
to
following those. I'm following
yeah,
those only. Okay. So.
yeah. And I think both industries get kind of a bad rep too, because there
Hmm.
are people that get out of their lane on both sides, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh Lord, like, come on, y'all. So let me ask you this. How do you stay empowered and motivated to keep doing what you do?
Well, my husband, as far as therapy, he says basically that I eat, breathe, and do therapy. Okay. Try to be correct,
Right.
politically
You
correct.
were
But
still trying to be PC on here.
okay, okay. So and it's true. So how do I stay motivated? Honestly, clients motivate me. People motivate me. Clients, because it's like almost every time that I get down, a client will come around and say, "You really helped me. I'm doing what you told me to do. It worked." Or they'll put up a review on Google, and I didn't have nothing to do with that. It's all of a sudden it's popped up. So I feel like God is like saying, "Hey, girl, get yourself back together. Here, look at this. Here." So it's like I get those punches of encouragement that I'm not looking for, but it's based off of how I made somebody feel, how somebody don't change their life based on something that I don't said, or the direction I don't told them to go in. So that honestly says, all right, come on, you keep going, you can do this. Another way that I stay motivated is that literally I keep talking about him because he is my everything, my husband. He honestly pretty much keep me balanced because he's know how I go hard here, and for anybody that come through my door that I see, he know that I would just do whatever I possibly can to try and help them. So he pretty much keep me scheduled, like you can only do this Monday through Thursday. So he took me off work on Fridays and the weekends, and he made rules such as when I'm at home, our bedroom, I am not allowed to talk about the office or clients or what. And I'm not telling him ever what the client's going through, but
Right.
I might mention to him that I want to go find some type of new resource for my clients, or I want to go and start changing how I'm doing something for the clients. And so he made it a flat out rule, and I just honor it because it is not worth arguing, and I need him to be my friend and lover. So I ain't got time for that. So what I would do is tell him, so he'll say like no talking about the job period in the bedroom at home, right? So that's another way. So he actually come up with like boundaries, and I just basically respect them, and I don't try to argue him or cross him because I know I do a lot, and I don't see myself doing a lot. I don't feel like I'm doing a lot. Even sometimes he'll say, you know what, you're not gonna go nowhere this weekend, so kind of just get your mind ready to chill in the house. And again, I don't argue with him because for the most part, I'm running all the time. So when he do say, "Hey, chill today," I just go ahead
Right.
and chill. Do I want to? No. But as a wife and in a relationship, I know how to listen and I know how to submit. So therefore, I practice those so I can maintain this marriage that I have
Right.
and lover that I have.
Right. You're like, man.
So yeah, so I can maintain it. So I truly put value into him because he is my team. And so he actually helps me get this, keep it balanced and understanding like, okay, you got the energy now, go do you, or, you know, you moving a little slow, or you just did a lot, you know, so that helps me. The clients, it's nothing like hearing somebody say that they have moved to another level based on talking to you.
Yeah.
That is just
Yeah.
so overwhelming. So many times I'll say, and I say it like probably once a week or whatever, and I just be talking to God, and I would say, because I'm a believer in a higher power, and I
Yeah.
would tell him, her, the higher power, I would tell
Right.
it, the spirit, basically, if I die today, please let my work speak for me. That is something that my aunt had on her casket, and I wasn't even in counseling at that point. I was still just coming out of high school, I believe, and that really just resonated with me because when I read that at her funeral, I literally knew her work, and then I knew what kind of work she did, and I'm like, it speak for you, you know. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
You're like,
I
this is
want
it.
that legacy, and I would just get
Right.
on a mission like that.
Right. You're like, because that's not, you're like that. Mm, no. And you know,
Yeah.
it's funny because I know that just from what I've seen from the outside looking in, I know that your marriage is very important, and I know that just like you're saying, and I want to keep this marriage, he wants to keep that marriage, and that's very important that both of you are in it to win it. Both of you are like, hey, you know what? In order for us to thrive in this life, we've got to get together. And just like he does that for you, I'm sure you do that for him as well. Like, hey, you've been going hard in the paint. I need you to, it's chill time. We're going to chill. Even though everything inside of me is like, let's break out. Let's go do something. There's also that, you know what? Let's just hang. You and I just go hang. So I think that even more than you guys being out there writing a book, being on a platform, anybody that can see you can witness that, you know what? These are real people doing real things, just hanging, chilling, and making life good. And
Mhm.
that's something that it's not a it's not a not really a Insta, even though it's Instagrammable, it's not the typical Instagrammable look at our relationship and we're so wonderful. And and you can tell, you can look in people's eyes and tell when it's not wonderful. If you just
Right, right.
you can look at people's eyes and be like, really? No. you know.
Mhm.
But there are times where certain posts and certain things that you've put out there, it's just like, I'm just honoring him today. That it ain't today I'm just like, you know what, this is just a good man, and I'm gonna put it out there for the world. And that kind of stuff people can feel from you, and I'm sure people that deal with you guys on a regular basis can see that too. And so and I know you said he empowers you, he motivates you. And is that something that you even talk to your clients about their significant others being able to identify those things that they need and bring that up? Like, are those even conversations that you have?
We definitely there are conversations that we have because again, is in order to have that conversation, I have to make the person look at themselves. And the other thing about that is the not only that for us to look at one of the questions that I always ask people that are in relationships, and as I find out how long they've been together, it'll be 20 years in December for us being
Wow.
married. Yeah. So when I ask people, I say, what now you've been together 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 1 year. I say, tell me, what have you learned from your partner? What have they literally taught you
Yeah.
know? And then a lot of people get stunned. They don't really put that thought into it and see if I'm really learning something from this person. And or
Mm-hmm.
are you teaching? What have you taught? What can you
Yeah.
say that you taught that person? So, I think that's a big deal to see if this relationship is really working. The other thing that I say is, what have y'all built together? What have you actually
Mm.
built together? A lot of people don't take that into consideration, but the
Right.
reality is when you in a relationship, you have to be building, you have to be learning. And the last thing that I always focus on is when we're in a relationship, I need you to recognize that you are still growing. So
Right.
as you are growing, you are changing. So things that you might used to like, you don't like anymore, and you can't really explain it. It just don't feel right anymore. You have grown. We'll look at our children and we'll say, "Oh, you get so big, you in high school now. Oh, you get so big, you wear extra large now." And
Mhm.
when we look at us ourselves as adults, all we really focus on is the physical growth. Oh, I can't get
Right.
that no more. I'll gain some weight. But what
Right.
about your mental growth? What about your spiritual growth? What about your
Mm.
emotional growth? Are you more able to control your emotions at this point, or are you still yelling and cussing like you were in high school?
Right.
So I say, what have you actually done that you can say that you are improving? Because the key part of that is like once you realize that you have changed and you can't handle something no more, you don't like the way they're talking to you no more, but it used to be fine. Once you realize that, that's how you have to communicate that to your partner, because what you'll be communicating at that time is them learning how to love you today, because the way they used to
Mm.
love you don't work anymore. So you have to continue to teach them how to show this action of love and love
Yeah.
you today, instead of not saying nothing, being passive, just going along with it, but really being irritated. Now you lashing out, and now we arguing without the simple things of just saying, you know what, I think I changed. I can't get on my knees no more.
Right.
They,
Hey.
they ain't no good. They ain't no good.
Right.
I like to have
Listen.
fun. I like for us to laugh. I like to have
Yes.
fun. Okay.
Yes. But that's real. That is so real. It's like, listen, that thing I used to do, I ain't gonna be able to do.
Yeah, and then you don't tell them, and then next thing you know, now you got an attitude. You're
Right.
half doing it because you're thinking about it. You're in pain. You don't want to
You're
do
in
it,
pain.
and
Right.
when
And
you can just avoid that and talk to them how to love you today, because
right.
that's how they loved you 10 years ago. But now you don't hit them for this. You can't do all
Right.
that stuff no more.
Can do
You
all
know,
that
you gotta
right
find
now.
some new
Yeah.
stuff. But see,
Right.
again, that's that whole communication part. You gotta be willing to actually look at yourself and say, what have I have changed? Where have I changed?
Wherever
And
it can.
then be willing to communicate that and see if to my partner, hey, this bothers me at this point. Is that going to be a problem with you? And if they say yes, well, that's a problem with me. Then at that point, well, what are we going to do to compromise or negotiate?
Right.
Because this is some unconditional love here. This didn't come with no condition. So how can we go ahead and compromise and continue this conversation so we can continue building and growing
Yes.
together?
Yes. And that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge thing. You keep saying we've got to have these conversations. And there's so many situations where people that is a life skill that we just don't have anymore. Well, not even anymore. Unless you've actively worked on it, it's never really been a thing because
And that's the truth.
children should be seen and not heard. Um, wives would, the husband would come in, bark some orders, and the wife would be, okay, let me go over here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And there is no
Yep.
conversation. And then now everybody's thumb thugging it. So we don't understand inflections and tones and any of that. It's
Body language.
body language, right? Like I tell people all the time in my coaching business, I do video calls because I gotta see what you're doing,
Mm.
for over the years, I'm very good at hearing things on the phone, like hearing your voice. I'm like, how are you doing? I'm fine. Oh, no, 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 you're not. Hey, you know, and I do that with my friends and people that I know, where I'm always listening for what's the truth underneath what you're saying to me.
Exactly.
But again, we don't spend enough time. We're so busy worrying about what's the response I'm going to put out there that we're not even listening anymore. We don't understand the art of conversation at all. And you know, I can't. I've got to stop saying anymore, because there was never a this was an end thing for it to even be an
You
end.
know what, Myra? I tell people that honestly, I feel like we were raised aggressive. We was taught the only communication style of aggression.
Yeah.
We wasn't taught assertive communication, and
Mm.
that is why um, my whole journey with trying to leave a legacy is really to try and teach people how to talk better, how to families teach families how to talk better so they can leave a legacy. So somebody do listen, pick up what they're putting down and carry it on and be
Listen.
proud in their name. So I actually just created some online classes on my website, and it's called Just in Time. Is the page that you can go on. There's an array of classes on there, and I'm going to continue to add to them. But all of the classes are about how to talk to your family. So one of them is about diagnosing. I'm like, once you get diagnosed with something, how do you go back and tell your family that you've been diagnosed with something and get them to support you instead of sympathize with you?
Right.
And how do you get them to actually, understand and help you get through it? And how do you help them get through it? So that's one of the classes. Another one is called Time to Talk About Sex. You mentioned earlier when you was reading my bio that I'm a sex offender specialist, and I only
Yeah.
work with juveniles. And the thing about it is we're not talking to our children about sex other than just don't do it, and you're not supposed to be doing it. But in reality,
Whew.
in middle school, it is saturated with talking about sex, and the kids
Right.
are using each other and social media to try and understand what they really are hearing. And
Right.
so what I did was create this, and these are little short classes. So another one, and it's really about how it's 10 ways to bring up this conversation, not only to bring it up, where you really need to have it so it actually resonate with the person that you're talking to, and how it can be easy and comfortable if you start it in the structured way, if you have this in a structured way. So it's really important that we really do communicate, but communicate assertively and stop with the aggression. Another thing I tell couples, that when they come in here, I say, it's almost like we go to high school, we leave high school, but we continue to talk like we're in high school.
Yes. Yes.
So I said the way you talking to each other is just some high school crap. I said,
Yes.
this is not adult talking. It's not anyone that's really allowing someone to give you feedback, take constructive criticism, be assertive in what you're saying, and be respectful of somebody else's opinions to disagree. I said,
Right.
so let's talk all the high school stuff, and which is the petty behavior, the blaming, the pointing the fingers, the tit for tat. I said, can we just like get to a place where we say we're not in high school anymore,
Right.
so we don't have to do this?
Can we
So
agree
and
to
so
disagree and move on?
yeah, so I end up challenging them to again go back and look at yourself and how you are reacting, how you are responding to this person, because that is the key to changing the other person. I
Right.
also tell parents, because I also for the past I think 5 years been speaking at the Fulton County Scare Straight program in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
And when I speak there, I speak only to the parents. I don't speak to the children. So after they come in and they get the children all lined up, they'll take the children on to the jail and to the court and show them around the court, and then they go over to the jail and do the experience over there. But the parents are left there to hear from somebody like me. And what I will always start off with, if you want this behavior to change that just been described in your children, the reality is you're going to have to change too.
Yes.
And a lot of them, they receive it, but you get some that just won't receive it. But the reality is, if you don't like how somebody is treating you or reacting to you, change how you are responding to them, then guess what? They're going to have to change how they're reacting to you, because you didn't do what they are used to. You didn't do what they expected. You did
Right.
something totally different that they wasn't expecting. So try that and see what happens later. And if you are consistent, they have to change because it don't work for them anymore.
Right. They're not getting the same response. I learned that lesson. It's a very crazy way I learned it. I learned that lesson when I was working in youth ministry. I was in my 20s and I was one of the workers. And this lady, she was a principal. She, matriculated all the way up through from being a teacher to, being a principal. And when the kids would get really crazy and rowdy, and everybody be like, y'all be quiet, y'all be quiet, y'all be quiet, she would get up in front of the room and she'd say, hey, I need you to be quiet. If you can hear me, clap your hand. If you can hear me, clap your hand. And she would start saying it lower and lower and lower. If you can hear me, clap your hand. If you can hear me, clap your hand. And so, of course, the people in the front of the room clap. If you can hear me, clap your hand. And then finally, people are like, the other kids like, what is going on? Until literally everybody is quiet and trying to hear what she's saying, and then sometimes she would switch it up like midway through. If you could hear me, snap your finger, just something, and so and keeping their attention until the room got quiet. And she said, okay, thank you so much for paying attention. Now we're going to move on to the next thing. Now you're ready to receive your next set of instructions, right? And so I went to her and I was just like, okay, that I've never seen anything like that before. That's the craziest thing. Like, what did you do? Because I was fascinated, right? And she was explaining to me, she said, the way that these kids are used to receiving instruction is by someone hollering at them and someone abruptly stopping them and yelling and screaming and telling them that they're wrong. She said, I didn't tell them they were wrong. She said, because we were in a heightened situation. Everybody was loud and having a good time and doing what they were doing. She said, but in order to get them to do what I needed them to do, I couldn't join into what they were used to. And I couldn't join into what they were doing. I had to change.
Right.
And so then I was understanding that. I'm like, oh, if you want people to pay attention and do what you need to do, you got to change the game. You can't go in doing exactly what they're doing, and you can't go in treating them the same way. So over the years, especially when I've worked with kids, but then even when I work with clients, I'm always like, no, I've told them, I have a 6-year-old niece that I've been doing a lot of work with recently. And I had her laughing one day because I said, listen, Auntie is never going to yell at you. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fuss. I have no desire to fuss you. We're working on these spelling words and these projects, and I'm helping you. And we've been working on behavioral stuff and all the essential oils and the quiet times and all that. I'm never going to yell at you. I said, now, if you choose to not do what you need to do, I'm just going to tell your mother and your grandmother, because they, and you know this, are going to go off the but then also having conversations where I'm like, okay, you can't yell at her all the time because you don't want her to get used to that. And the same thing with people talking about, oh, well, you just make these kids do their work and da-da. No, I don't operate like that. I'm trying to get you to love learning. And so for me to yell at you to get you to learn and to do that, you better get it before I whip you. Like, that's never been my zhuzh when I've worked with anybody's kids. I don't do that. I'm not about to whoop you because you're not spelling the word right. We're just going to keep practicing the word.
Right.
That's the unlearning that unfortunately we've all gone through. And then I know going to the legacies, but even the mental health, you're having to now deal with those people that grown up learning fear-based learning, or everything. In order to make anything happen, there has to be some sort of whooping attached to it. And, you know, even with her, we've had conversations about consequences. But I lead in with, we have good consequences and
we have consequences. That's right.
Consequences doesn't just mean bad, you know?
Exactly.
And so now, you know, I give her the opportunity to make a choice. You know, I'm like, okay, what you're doing right now is unacceptable. So this is the warning. If we do it again, we're going to have a bad consequence. Would you prefer the bad consequence, or would you prefer a good consequence? And she was like, well, I don't want a bad consequence. Okay, so we're going to change our behavior.
Right.
You know? And I'm like, in order to get the good consequence, we have to do this, this, and this. Are you willing to do this, this, and this? And
let me just give you a tip too. When it comes to like the bad consequences, ask her to name you 3.
Okay.
And you will be surprised that when the children are first made to acknowledge that they were wrong, so you get her to say, well, what was the problem with this? Why am I upset? Or why am I disappointed? And then they say, you know, because I scribbled all over my paper and didn't write my answers. I just scribbled, you know, clowns. And you say, yeah, so, you know, that's disappointment because now your paper is messed up and we still got to turn this in, right? So that's you know, you're getting in trouble, right? Then they're like, yeah, okay, so what do you think your consequence should be? You would be amazed that they will literally give you 3 good ones and that they really don't want to happen, but they know I was wrong. So my phone, I can't watch TV. I have to go straight to bed after dinner. They would tell you, you'd be like, yeah, let's go with number 2. And then
she did give me the phone one. She was like, so am I going to get my phone away? Yes, child, you're going to get your phone taken away.
So like when she says she know that, right? So tell her to give you 3 things because she would come up with 2 other things that she feel just as connected to as the phone because she understand that I am doing this based on the repercussions of what I've done. You see what I'm saying? So you teaching them at that point to basically whoop their own self, you know, and basically be able to acknowledge and accept that they're wrong and, you know, and be accountable for themselves. So, you know, too many times when we don't have them repeat it themselves and we just go ahead and punish them, they feel like it's not justified. It wasn't right. You know, we did too much and all this other stuff. But when you involve them in it, it's more of, well, you know, that's fair. You know, yeah, I was wrong. And then also it saves you from trying to do the yelling and the screaming and come up with ideas. And also I tell parents too, if you take that option and you tell the child to get name 3, it doesn't necessarily mean you got to take any of them, but it still gives them an opportunity to be accountable for what has happened. And that is more important than you honestly punishing them because once they are accountable and they're able to say it, I mean, they process that and hopefully that will help them moving forward with decision making. But when you don't get to process your own mess and you just get yelled at or whatever, you don't really think, well, I really didn't do nothing wrong. You start to minimize it. You start to rationalize it. You know, you blame other people. So in order to cut that down, you make them repeat, what do I have a problem with right now? And then once they say, okay, now you tell me what kind of consequence, name me 3. You see? And then that starts to help them say, well, we ain't doing this no more.
Right. We ain't doing this no more.
That's one of my little tips that I like to give parents when
that's a good one. That is a great one actually, because I know there are a lot of parents that need help trying to figure out how to break the cycle. How to, you know, because The only discipline they ever knew and understood was being yelled at and being whooped. That or you get put on punishment. You can't go outside. Well, these kids, okay, I don't want to go outside. Like so that okay. So now and you know, even us talking about the communication issues in relationships, it passes over to the children. And so it passes over to really every area of your life. I was talking even with an entrepreneur recently, and they were having an issue. You know, everybody's always talking clarity, and, you know, get clear on this and get clear on that and get clear on whatever. And part of the issue that people have is they're waiting to get clear on something before they even start the process of communicating and talking it out. And what I have found, and help me with this as well, what I have found is that if you don't start at least talking about it and getting what's in your head out of your head, you can never get clear on it because you're too busy running scenarios, ideas, and things in your head. And so you get stuck kind of in that weird bubble yourself.
Okay.
So what would you recommend for people?
Well, you know, that reminds me of when people just say, just have faith. Just have faith.
Look, you see me looking over the sky like, please, oh God, talk about that, please.
And my problem with that is people will say that to you in a minute, but they don't tell you how to get it. They don't tell you how to get faith. And the reality of it is faith is something that you honestly see for yourself. You honestly believe this is going to happen. You see it. So, you know, they say, oh, you sick. Well, just have faith. You'll feel better. So they want you to go ahead and see yourself already being better. So the thing about it is, like, I see literally myself being better, and that can go into meditation, taking some time to myself so I can actually visualize myself running down the street and doing well and not stopping because I can't breathe, but I'm sprinting. I can visually see myself doing this. Then what's going to happen, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write down, literally, I see myself running sprints.
Right.
So now I wrote it down. I can see it. Right? So I have visualized it, but then I wrote it down so I can still see it. Now that I see it, me keep looking at it, I'm going to end up believing it more.
Right.
So as I continue to believe it more, I'm doing things that's going to help me make it come true where I achieve it.
Yes.
Because I keep seeing this, so now I'm going to go and get me some running shoes. Even though I can't do it right now, I'm going to have them ready. I'm going to demonstrate my faith to my higher power that this is going to be what I'm going to do.
Right.
So I'm buying them shoes, even though I can't run that fast yet.
Right.
You see, but I see myself running that fast, and those are shoes right there that I'm going to wear. Right. And so then what happens is it honestly starts to come through. Now, the other part of that is, like, you will say, oh, well, you know, I need clarity. I really want to run this sprint. I do. I want to be in this marathon, but, you know, I just really need clarity. Is this what I'm going to do? I think this is what I'm going to do because I thought about it. Right. But I really didn't take a moment to visualize it. I'm just still thinking about it. And I know where it's at. Yeah, I can do it. But then the phone ring and I got to answer, and it's a bill collector. I got to talk to them. The kids came in. Oh my goodness, I ain't finished cooking. Oh my goodness, look at the laundry. I ain't finished that. Oh, well, you know, I got a meeting over here. Now, oh wait, you need a project you need me to handle? Wait a minute, you want to do it? What's going on? I don't take care of my whole family and the job. All of this, I forgot about my marathon.
Yes,
I seen it, but I never wrote it down, so I could continue to have the vision in my face. So now the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. And so what has happened, all that stuff in your head is chaos. And what turns around is now you frustrated and you snapping on people because now you feeling unappreciated. Now you don't think you feeling everybody's taking advantage of you. Now you feel like it's just ungrateful because just nothing is going my way. But what the reality is, You didn't take advantage of taking care of yourself and writing down what you see and you believe in for yourself. And so
Yes.
now you give priority to everybody else in their dreams. And
Yes.
now as their dreams take off, as they doing what they want to do, and now you don't have another moment to sit still. Now you want to feel some type of way because your dreams ain't taking off, but you ain't put no energy into it. You put a thought and you let the thought go out of your mind because you didn't write it down and keep that vision in your face, in your
Yes.
face. And
Yes.
that's how I be feeling about that.
And look, and then it rolls into, why is everybody so angry?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody, because I
Exactly.
wrote down
That's
earlier, you
chaos.
were saying something, and I was like, anger, man, when you were talking about growth, and I was like, anger management, because I see that so often. Everybody's, oh, because I just got anger problems. If you go to, you need a therapist. If you got
Because
anger,
it's a choice.
you gotta
That's a
deal.
choice. If
Yes.
you have anger problems, that's a choice. You choose to have anger problems.
Yes. I
Anger
remember,
is a
what
choice.
was it? It was a program that I was going through, and they said you can only physiologically or biologically be angry for 90 seconds, because without making the choice to be it, like your body can't stay angry that long. Like if you're angry, you got a minute and 30 seconds to be angry, and your body naturally is like, I'm done with this. It don't feel good.
And you know why? Because if you think about it, Myra, from the time you woke up this morning, how many feelings that you honestly don't experience up until this moment?
Right.
So the thing about it is, we can become angry, but as soon as we become angry, something in life is going to happen where it's going to take our mind off of that made us angry and make us focus on something else. So
Right.
just allowing yourself to live and not exist is what's going to
Yeah.
help you move past that anger. If you're just trying to exist, then you're going to sit in that anger and you're
Mhm.
not trying to actually live.
Yeah. And that look, that's part of the thriving. That when I was, just thinking about the things that I want to bring to the world, and the things that everybody that I talk to want to bring to the world, it's about us making the choice to say, how am I going to live well? How am I going to thrive in this life? How am I going to move from just surviving? Because
Yeah.
many of us are sitting back going, well, they told me it's supposed to be like this, and struggle is normal for everybody, and I gotta scratch and survive. And we're hanging on the words of the Good Time song. And it's like,
Girl.
times they weren't having good times, y'all. They was worried about spoiled meat and Cabrini Green falling down. Like that wasn't good,
Right. Right.
you know. And so somewhere along the line, I want us to even be able to impart to people, like, hey, listen, you've got to figure out what it is that helps you make this choice daily and live
Yeah.
daily. And that also means go talk to somebody, go get help. There are some things that you've got to get out of your head, some programming that you got to unlearn, some ideas that have to be reset, because even when we talk about the legacy that moves forward in our lives, the things that you are holding on to get passed down to your relationships, your friendships, but even your family. And I know it's almost time for us to go, but talk to us. I know you wrote this wonderful book, Leaving Legacies. I know, look, you wrote this wonderful book. Talk to us about why do they need to get it? I know why they need to get it, but why do they need to get it? And what is it that the book is helping them focus on as well?
Okay. The book is a behavior therapy book that parents can use at home. So if you are a caregiver or a parent, anybody who's dealing with children, and even like you're not a parent, Myra, but you are dealing with your niece. So you
Mhm.
still are a caregiver. So
Yeah.
it's really a behavior therapy book that you can do at home, behavior therapy at home, an action that you can do at home to help improve the communication patterns with your children. So I'm going in here, I'm going over some texting codes that you should kind of like be aware of, some apps that you really should be aware of. I'm going over here a technique that is called, I called it quality praise. You know, a lot of times we tell children, my clock is gonna go off.
That's okay.
um, a lot of times we tell children when we get upset with them, you know, get out my face. I don't want to see you. I don't want to look at you right now. Just go to your room or whatever. So we're quick to do something like that. But how do we go back and get that conversation back with that child after we have that, you know, because it's awkward. So I'm teaching you how to actually identify in the child the good things that they do, the little good things that they do, and point those out, not wait till a report card. But when you see them give their sister some water or change the toilet paper roll or put the cap back on the toothpaste, how to go in and actually give them boosts of encouragement, enlightenment, that you do see the good in them, that you do see them doing things right.
That's
so
awesome.
I gave you a technique on how to do that. I talked about the aggressive communication style and assertive communication style, and I went back and made you try to think about which one did your parent use. I also went over parenting styles, and in the parenting styles, I also went over again what is it that what kind of parenting style you've been using, what kind of parenting style your parents use, and which one do you think, and how to incorporate some other ones into it that just help you honestly communicate better. You know, I feel like we are not leaving a legacy that we're proud of. And with this book and, you know, my classes, they are to help you leave a legacy that you are proud of, that you honestly see. That you can see right now, you know, and you know that your legacy is going to be great, full of pride. That's my whole thing.
So we can go to, where can we find you? Where are you? Where are you? Where can we find you?
You can find me at dsgeorgia.com. D and David, S and Sam, and the word Georgia spelled out.com. You can reach out to me. I do telemed too, so I do counseling online too. So you can reach out to me at 678-212-5146. And you can find me on Facebook at Divine Systems Georgia. Also Instagram, Glendora Divine. If you Google me, baby, you'll find me, baby.
Yo, listen, she is Googleable, okay? Oh my goodness. Look, I have a couple fun questions that I want to ask you. These are just like some just random questions, just fun.
Okay.
So kind of like our not really a speed round, but kind of. So what's the last movie you watched all the way through?
The Joker.
Okay.
Just did it.
Because you know, we watch half of a movie and be like, yeah, I saw such.
Let me scroll. But I just watched Joker last weekend.
Okay. All right. How do you start your day? Is it prayer, meditation, coffee, tea, running? How do you start your day?
It is with coffee. It's coffee. It's like, hey, we
like,
also, right. And I guess I do start with prayer, because I also always when I wake up, I always thank the Lord for allowing me to wake up in my right mind. And then I always say, I look to wonder what you have in store for me. What miracle will you have in store for me? So I always thank the Lord, and I always acknowledge that He's going to send me some type of miracle in the day. And then I go to coffee.
She's like, and then I'm like, to receive this miracle, I must have this coffee.
I
love that. Okay, water or soda?
Water. So, and it's water, and it's been water for about 8 years. But it's truly water as of last, because I was doing water and sweet tea. You know, that country thing. But as of December, right before Christmas, I was diagnosed as a diabetic. And so I really just don't drink nothing but water and hibiscus tea.
Okay. Yeah. Look, keep it healthy, keep it together. Other thing, if we don't keep this together, then we can't keep this together, because that's Listen, that's a whole other class. Look, we'll have to invite you back when we're talking about mental health.
I'll come.
Listen,
I'll come.
she's like, I'm ready. Come on. All right, let's see what makes you smile. I mean, I'm always talking about smiling. What makes you smile?
I think I'm silly. So I just be smiling at all kind of stuff. And I love seeing people smile. I mean, if I see
Yeah.
somebody smile, I'm telling you, Myra, many days I have scrolled on Facebook and seen your smile and just smiled. I will see your name and I will smile. Because I see that big smile you have. I have a girlfriend who has your smile. And my friend, our other friend, she used to call her Smiley because her smile is just so pretty, and she's got a beautiful smile. So y'all have like the best teeth and the best lips, the best cheekbones. So when I see things like that, that makes me smile.
Yes. And and I tell people all the time, I'm like, this is it's a gift. It literally, I believe it's a gift from God. And I laugh because I get my smile from my dad. And I used to tell him all the time, like, you know what, thank you for these teeth. Because people are like, oh, how long did you have braces? And I'm like, I never did. And and I'm like, I just believe, I say to folks, good genes and God. That's literally like,
Yeah.
Dad and God, I sure appreciate it, but that's also why I use it, because I'm like, it's a gift. And I tell folks all the time, I'm like, if you got two teeth and one of them is black, you still better smile, because you never know how that might affect somebody's day. Some having, like you said, an absolutely terrible day, and just to see somebody smile at them, around them, on a paper somewhere, on the computer, it might be just that little thing that they need. And so that is awesome. If you had to shut down your business today and you couldn't be a therapist anymore, what would you do?
I would probably be a chef. I love to cook. I love to cook.
That is awesome.
And greedy. Greedy.
You like, I love to cook and I love to eat. So
yes. Yes.
that is
So yeah.
awesome. I love asking people that question, because a lot of times we are so passionate and we go so hard in the thing that we do and that we're good at, that we forget the other things that we love. And so that's also just to get people thinking, like, what else do you love? Not so much fall back on it, but if it all went away today, what else could you be passionate about? Because we always have that other thing inside of us.
I'll be on Top Chef. I'll be on. I don't almost apply to Gordon Ramsay a couple times. I was like, I ain't ready. He can't cuss me out like that right now. I ain't ready. I'm still not ready.
I believe, as much as I love watching Gordon Ramsay, I believe that inside of my spirit, he would get cut with one of them knives.
I ain't ready. I ain't ready. I ain't ready.
He would have one good time. He would have one good time. Well, listen, what other parting words do you have for, especially for entrepreneurs that need to keep going? Health perspective. What could you say to any of them out there?
I love to say we only have one life, so live. Don't just exist, and expect the mess of life. Expect it, tell it you tried it, and keep it moving. Get on, keep it moving. Don't let it stop you. Expect it. And if you expect negativity, then it's not so hard when it comes to you. And because if you remember that it's something positive in every negative thing that we encounter. And that's what I would tell them. Keep it moving. You got one life.
Keep it moving. Listen, you guys, keep it moving. It's really that simple. Just keep it moving, no matter what it is, keep it moving. Listen, I know I said it at the beginning, but I'm saying it again. I am so, so, so thankful that you say yes. I'm so thankful that you say yes. Because a lot of times, we I don't know, just, a lot of times we have people in our lives that we're connected to, and we offer, or we say something, we say, hey, come support. And they're like, girl, I got you.
I got you, girl.
You know, and
I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored that you even gave me your platform to even just say a little bit about how we can honestly leave a legacy, how we can
yeah,
actually communicate better with our families, and just
yeah,
actually how we can just, keep it moving. So
yeah.
I'm so honored to know you and to know you, to see your smile, and then to feel like you believe in me. That encourages me. So how I stay motivated, I see Myra.
But
I
just know
appreciate you, Myra.
we're
My
gonna have you back for mental health awareness time.
Yes.
July is Black Mental Health Awareness Month, so I want to do something.
All right, let's do it, and then we can talk about the entrepreneurs on that day.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
love to.
definitely want to do that because we have so much, if most people know, so much stigma around mental health that there really can't be enough conversation about it. So
Exactly.
forward to us connecting again. Let's do something else, even if it's not the show. Maybe we need to create a summit for July. You know
I'm
what?
with it. I'm with it.
Create a summit for July. Okay, well y'all,
I'm with it.
now we about to put this thing together because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So
All right, I'm with it.
you so much. I know you got to
Thank
get
you.
on with your day.
I
And
do. I
if you
do.
out here, connect with her,
Thank
dsgeorgia.com.
you.
Get the book, get the classes, get it together. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us on the setup. We will see you again on next Thursday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Remember to smile at the person in the mirror because that gives that person the permission and the empowerment to smile at others around, and it makes the world a better place. And just do us a favor, make today smile worthy. Bye, y'all.